All right, let's take a look at the overnight action for you and see where we're placed at this point of time. US markets, as we just mentioned, have taken a bit of a U-turn overnight, and lots of factors at play there. Nvidia rally fading, jobs data fueling volatility, Fed rate cut hopes fading as well. So lots of different factors at play. Shailendra, Bhatnagar, our chief analyst and editor markets, also with us this morning. Shail, it's not looking like a great cue overnight from Wall Street.
Very good morning to you, Abha. But first things first, there was a record high on the Indian markets, specifically the Nifty yesterday. So what we've promised over the last 15 days has been delivered. 26,227 was breached. 26,242 is a fresh record high for Indian markets after 14 months of really painful effort. Now, coming back to this NASDAQ thing, the index has corrected about 8% in the last 16, 17 sessions on Wall Street. And this is ideally good news for Indian markets, Abha. A bit of puncturing of the AI bubble will lead to a lot of money coming to Indian shores. Although we are starting about 82 points lower, I am hopeful that we'll have a fresh closing high for the week this time, as also we have the monthly expiry next week on Tuesday. That will also end in a hurrah. So look at the digital space, look at how strength is coming into metals, into PSUs, and all remains well on Dalal Street despite tantrums in Asia and Wall Street. Abha.
All right, that's true. And in fact, we have seen a resounding number of FPI flows coming back into India. I know, Shail, you've also been speaking to Nishchal Maheshwari on that. What was the key takeaway from that conversation? How confident is he sounding of sustained FPI flows back into the Indian market, and what's driving it?
Well, Abha, Nishchal is one of the most cautious guys that I've known on Dalal Street over the last 20-25 years. And he himself says that a 500-700 point rally on the Nifty is possible from the current space based on the trade deal happening. And the first headline that you read today was Reliance stopping all Russian crude. So the decks are cleared, the trade deal will happen. There is a selling on Wall Street and the AI bubble is about to sort of leak a bit. All that money and fresh FII money will come into our markets, and the first 100 shares where there's liquidity of more than $10 million per day in terms of trading will be their target audience. Abha.
All right, great. And in fact, we've seen a series of brokerage upgrades from Goldman to Morgan, HSBC, all of them now looking at the Indian market with fresh vigor. Joining us this morning, Mayuresh Joshi, Head Equity Research at William O'Neill. Mayuresh, happy to see you this Friday. What are your views on the market as we continue to see new highs and also further upgrades from global brokerages?
Morning, Abha. Morning, Shail. No, I think two things. One, I think the earnings season in Q2, which has largely been very, very positive and supportive, is giving the impetus for the market that second half earnings will be even better. And looking forward in FY27, the base case estimates that were getting drawn out for a single-digit growth is now slowly turning into a double-digit growth. The base case scenario being 12 to 13% earnings growth in FY27. Now, if you map that in terms of earnings growing at 13% on an FY27 exit, the markets will not look very expensive. Obviously, I think on mean averages and standard deviations, a tad bit above the mean of the average levels. But that is expected in terms of the premium tag that India might probably get in terms of earnings remaining resilient, liquidity remaining strong, corporate debt to GDP remaining at lower levels, the impetus that the government is probably doing in terms of private plus public capex expected to continue. So there are enough triggers that might give that premium tag, and valuations might then probably look a little bit easier as we exit FY27.
All right. Now, India and Israel have taken a major step towards strengthening economic ties, signing the terms of reference to kickstart a free trade agreement. The move opens up new possibilities for deeper economic engagement with Indian businesses, gaining fresh investment opportunities in Israel. Commerce Minister Piyush Goyal called the decision to begin FTA talks historic. Listen in.
भारत और इजरायल के बीच आज फ्री ट्रेड एग्रीमेंट पे चर्चा शुरू करने के लिए पहला कदम उठाया गया है। हमने टर्म्स ऑफ रेफरेंस आज तय करके उस पर हस्ताक्षर किए। मेरे मित्र इजराइल के मिनिस्टर शिंडीर बरकत जी और मेरे बीच जो आपसी संबंध बना है, जिस प्रकार से माननीय प्रधानमंत्री नरेंद्र मोदी जी और प्रधानमंत्री नेतन्याहू जी के बीच संबंध है, और जिस प्रकार से दोनों देशों के बीच सहभागिता की संभावनाएं हैं, कॉम्प्लीमेंट्री पॉसिबिलिटीज हैं, जिस प्रकार से दोनों देशों के चुनौतियां भी एक जैसी हैं, उसको मद्देनजर रखते हुए हम समझते हैं कि ये एक अच्छी शुरुआत हो सकती है। अच्छा एक द्विपक्षीय व्यापार का करार बनेगा और नए अवसर बड़े पैमाने पे खोलेगा।
Well, talking about trade agreements, of course, we've been watching out for the India-US negotiations to come to a close. And to a large extent, I think markets have been factoring that in this week. Expected to be closed formally this weekend, but that's still only source-based. We don't have any, of course, clear, confirmed news of that. But what do we expect to see in terms of a reaction, Shell, once we get the final stamp?
Abha, it's my gut feel that over the weekend you will have the announcement of the Indo-US trade deal and the reduction in sanctions that have been imposed upon Indian imports. That is 25% plus 25%. So the extra 25% will go, and most probably you will narrow it down between 18 to 20%, between 15 to 20% on Indian imports. So that is something that I'm hoping will happen over the weekend. You will have a gap up on the Nifty on Monday, and then probably selling pressure seeping in, profit booking seeping in. From Friday, which is November 7th, the Nifty has rallied 900 points or 3.55% in 9 sessions. So that has to be digested by the market. And this rally is ahead of this probable event which might happen on this weekend. Abha.
All right. Well, Shell trusting his gut there. We'll get back to him on that on Monday and see what happens post all the trade news coming in. Of course, markets will be eyeing that. It's going to be very important in terms of a trigger, and really for us to move past that with many stocks and sectors hanging in the balance in terms of how they're going to manage and plan out their earnings as well as their business outlook in light of all the uncertainty around Trump and his trade negotiations. All right, all set for the opening bell right now. Lots and lots of stocks and news, and we'll discuss that this morning. But let's first pull up the opening ticks for you. Nifty just a marginal downtick right now, as Shell also mentioned, right now just absorbing some of the recent gains. 26113, that's where we've opened up this Friday. Nifty Bank is down about 0.5% at this point of time. Let's pull up some of the other sectoral movers. IT also down about 0.5%. So a whole host of stocks in the red. I feel if we pull up the advanced decline ratio, we'll probably see a bit of a sort of bias towards the declines this morning, it looks like. On the upside, though, marginal gains on an IndusInd Bank, M&M, HUL. That's where we're seeing some amount of green or traction in early morning trade. But let's pull up some of those losers for you, and the pressure will clearly be on some of the metal names, IT, finance, banks. That's really where you're seeing a little bit of a chip off this morning. Titan also cooling off, has seen successive gains, new highs, some of the defense majors. So not just IT and banks, but also some of these, very popular movers over the last week or 2 weeks. Reliance also cooling off so far this morning. So that's what we're seeing on the index. In terms of stocks and news as well, we'll pull up a few for you as we go along. But first, Shell, what else are you picking up on your screen?
Abha, a bit of a downtick. 26,100 is being tested by the bulls and the bears. So this should hold, and one should be happy if you have a bit of a downtick in the first 15-20 minutes of trade. 200 points down on the Bank Nifty. The advanced decline is favoring bears. Just 733 shares in the green versus 1521 in the red. All 19 indices are in the red. Nothing to be worried about. This is normal profit booking after a 3 percentage point rise on the Nifty. If you look at fresh highs in the market, where we should be concentrating all our energies into? Well, within the NSE 500, so far nothing, but you have Radico doing very well, 1.7% higher, 3420. Bank of India in top shape. You have Federal Bank doing extremely well, 245.6. And of course, in terms of volume buzzers, you have Adani Wilmar, 0.5% lower. Very heavy volumes. This looks like a block deal, 4.84 crore shares traded. And of course, a strong move coming into railway company RITES. Abha.
All right, Radico has been moving lately. We've been seeing that successive move this week.